So instead of trying to write a new musical in the time given, instead I'm going to tell you my backstory, which is set in Taiwan, which is where I'm originally from. And it's quite a harrowing story, full of loss and betrayal, and it's not very funny. But it does last an hour. And I find that very difficult, not because I just find it very difficult to sort of talk about where I'm from and that kind of stuff, but also because, as someone who primarily writes musicals, I had to completely reinvent myself as a storyteller. But musicians reinvent themselves all the time. For example, do you know the band Daft Punk? Yeah. Well, don't speak for everyone. You know, if you're not familiar with Daft Punk, essentially they're two DJs who wear space helmets to make them seem more futuristic. Which I think is great. I'm quite like that as a comedian, you know. People say that about me. I'm quite futuristic. In the sense that, you know, I'm not funny now. But I could be funny. You know, in a bit. Get a lot of people telling me that I'm futuristic. I get a lot of fan mail telling me that I'm futuristic. I had an email just the other day that said, "We just want to let you know that when you stormed off, saying the crowd was terrible, the next comedian came on, and we couldn't stop laughing." And I'd be like, "Welcome to the future." That's a classic Huge Davies payoff. Right, it's classic. It's classic. You know. Yeah, futuristic music was cool, man. Until one band came along, started doing their own dystopian song about the future. And that song ruined futuristic music forever. And that song went a little bit like this. I said I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but they live underwater. Yeah, come on. And your great-great-great-granddaughter, come on. It's pretty fine. It's pretty fine. Now that to me is the most depressing song I've heard in my whole life. To recap, that's a song about someone from the year 2002 going to the year 3000 to have sex with your great-great-great-great-granddaughter. Yeah? Number one, you go year 3000 and everything's underwater. Maybe the rest of the song should be about climate change. That's like our equivalent of Neil Armstrong going to the moon. We go, "Neil, what was the moon like? What did you see up there? There must be so much stuff." And he went, "The moon? Oh, well, I'll tell you about the moon. I went to the moon. I went to the moon, yeah. And there was no gravity. But I saw some rocks that looked just like some titties." No. That's my great-great-great-granddaughter. You're talking about that, mate. You're going to sleep with my relatives, you've got to keep these things to yourself. I thought this was a fun song about time travel, not Russell Brand the musical. And for those of you who've not done the maths, for it to be possible in the year 2002 to even have a great-great-great-granddaughter in the year 3000, you're going to have to spread 1,000 years over 5 generations. That means, if she was alive, and I hope to God she was, mate, if you spread out the years, average them out, she's going to be minimum, that's 2 centuries old. At this point, she is the oldest woman in the world. Let me paint you a picture. She's in a hospice. She's surrounded by her friends, her family. She's living off her drip, boys. Her bones are literally dust at this point. Give us some goddamn dignity in death. 2002 was the year society had busted. What's it like in the year 3000? And the best answer you could have got was, well, everybody may have drowned, but we still managed to gangbang a 200-year-old record breaker. Not my future, I'll tell you that for free. Yeah. That song was detrimental to Daft Punk, you know. Detrimental. Futuristic music wasn't cool anymore. And not a lot of people know this, but that song actually caused a rift within Daft Punk, And in 2002, the band split up, right? One of them remained as Daft Punk, doing music about the future, wearing a space helmet. The other started wearing a hood, doing music from the 16th century, performing as Daft Monk. Do you like Gregorian chanting? Yeah? You do? Well, you love Daft Monk then, it's like this. Do you like it? Yeah. I think you might be the only one. Not a floor filler, I'll say that much. But top 5 favourite songs to put over a sacrifice, hands down. Hands down. The Gregorian chanting's not as popular as it used to be, you know? Daft Punk's doing a lot of smaller venues. You know, he's doing a lot of Tudor-themed weddings. Ever been to a Tudor-themed wedding? Yeah? You have? Probably. Yeah. You would remember. Yeah. It's something that was a weird one, I think, yeah. Well, as you know, it sort of starts off like this. That goes on for about an hour. It's a pretty bleak affair. It's a bleak affair. But Daft Monk, he's just stalling for about 55 minutes, you know. But I do think it's a nice surprise at the end of the gig. There's a payoff. You don't even know you're watching Daft Monk until the beat kicks in. It's like this. Praying harder, praying better, do it faster, makes us humble, praising him forever after, our worship's never over. Bit of Daft Monk there for you. Bit of Daft Monk. Daft Monk was lucky, man. Managed to get out of there, reinvent himself before it was too late. Other musicians are not so lucky. For example, the musician who composed this song. Does anyone know what that song is called? Any takers? What do you think? What do you think it might be called? What would your first thought be? What do you reckon? Yeah. Circus Monkey. Don't know where I don't know where the monkeys come from. I don't know. I don't like the circus you've been going to. Quite honestly, I think they've half a good guess. It's circusy. That's fair to say. I want to let you know, and you can Google this after the show's finished. That song is called "Entry of the Gladiators." That song is called "Entry of the Gladiators." The composer heard that, thought about it, was like, yeah, I think that'll be the gladiators coming in, here they are. And his friends were like, listen, mate, your best friends are your honest friends. And I gotta be honest with you right now, it's got more of a clown vibe. And I know you set out to write a song about a gladiator, and that's cool, but what's happened is you've written a song about the circus, and that's happened to us all, let's be fair. Don't worry about that, you're the circus guy, and we'll just move on, and we'll never talk about this ever again. And he went, yeah, the circus, yeah, so yeah, of death.